Hello,
everyone.
here Tatjana Flade
And Judith Dombrowski.
and happy Halloween. And we need these gloves not only because it's Halloween, because it's freezing cold.
Super cold. I'm wearing 4 layers and my hands are already cold, so I envy you for your gloves. And
The Skate Canada was this time in Vancouver. It was a very cold rink, even colder than in Allen, Texas, at Skate America, which we did not expect. But
we didn't expect it inside,
Yeah.
outside.
So-
But in Allen you could at least go out and warm yourself up. But
and
it was a bit
the skaters even couldn't, the warm-up area, not many skaters used it because it was just
So
too cold to warm up. It was like a cool down area.
Yes.
So they warmed out outside. They looked for different places where they could get a little bit warmer. But anyway, so it was the second Grand Prix of the season and it was interesting with some interesting and surprising results.
Especially the men's event turned out very surprising. The other 3 events, I would say, had expected
The favorites.
medalists. The favorites came out on top. So let's talk you
Yeah.
through. And we will start with the women, as the women hit it off here, were the first to skate. And there, Kaori Sakamoto, the 2-time world champion, won her 4th Grand Prix overall, and she had a very strong outing here.
Yeah, she really skated like a world champion and had a very good score. And it was for her usually because last season it was not on the Grand Prix. She was not that strong, but this time she really. And she said she wants to win her 3rd world title, so she seems on a good way.
Yeah, like the funniest story of her of this weekend, I think, was after the short. She said she was a little bit like wonky on her triple flip, and then she heard her coach screaming from the board like, "Eee!" And then she was like, "Okay, I have to go for the triple. I cannot do a double." She went for the triple and she landed it.
Yeah, so that was great to see. And then we have a newcomer in 2nd place. Chaeyoung Kim competes she was a junior Grand Prix finalist and medalist last season, and this time, first time on her Grand Prix, comes off with a silver medal.
Yeah, she was super nervous, as she said, but I mean that led maybe to a few under rotations and a little wobbly landings, but still she scored over 200 points. A very strong skater. She already won 2 medals on the Challenger Series before, and now she has a good chance to qualify for the final again, this time in seniors.
Yeah, and she had an ankle injury, she told us, so last week, so she was not 100%, and considering that, she did really well.
Really well.
Then another newcomer to the podium, at least. He has been on the Grand Prix before, from Japan, Rino Matsuike. And it was a good comeback for her because she has been struggling with injuries, and last time she had to withdraw from a Grand Prix because of illness, and she was came in as a late replacement, and then she ends on the podium. She said I never would have dreamed of that.
Yeah, that was very lovely to see. Very lovely skater, very lyrical skater. Maybe just a little one-sided, but it was great to see her come back. Maybe if we have a withdrawal, she will have the chance for a 2nd Grand Prix assignment after that strong event. But it's just good to see her back strongly after struggling.
Madeleine Skizas, Canadian champion, obviously had hoped for a little bit more here, and this time it was just the opposite from last year when she had a strong short and then fell apart in the free. This time the program were some errors, and then she had a very strong free skate, pulled up to 4th place, was 2nd in the free. So
she had a personal best in the free skate. She was like redemption, and she said her parents gave her some power at the evening out of the short, because she said her parents, they just try to cheer her up and they don't care so much about her skating results, but just want to see her happy, and I think that's a very healthy attitude for the parents.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So Lindsay Thorngren of the United States, she was the best American here. She had 2 strong and more or less clean skates, apart from some under rotations. She is a very flexible skater, very nice spins. She's still a little bit shy.
Yeah,
on and off the ice.
And you said she had a back injury, and
yes,
she
exactly.
came back strong from that.
Yeah, she said she was off the ice for a month in September, so for that she was very strong here.
Rinka Watanabe, the defending champion, Skate Canada champion, made a few errors, so it was not enough for the podium this time. but she hopes to bring back the triple axel soon,
Later
and then
in the season.
then
Yes.
she might come and be back on the Grand Prix podium. The next event was the ice dance, and obviously it was very interesting to see Piper Gillis and Paul
For
Poirier.
the first time this season, they made their debut here. They debuted their two very interesting programs, and they had the highest score of the season in ice dance. Like they scored higher than the Americans and the Italians. So
Well, it's always a little tough to compare events
true.
because different panels, different scoring, so you cannot really compare. But nevertheless, they had very strong performances, and their program, especially their free dance, I think is very captivating about love and passion and the dark sides of love. So, Wuthering Heights soundtrack, it was cool.
very cool. It's to the.
And you like the costumes.
The costume, yeah, exactly. It was like funny because we were already assuming that because the main character in the movie it turns into a ghost, and they have like this light pink grayish costume, and then they confirmed like it's because of turning into a ghost, like everything fades away.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, and the Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson already competed a few times this season, and they keep
Getting
growing. Their score keeps building. Their Rocky program very entertaining.
Yes.
A lot of fun to watch.
Maybe rather it's really going into the direction of a show program.
For some people, it's too much show because it's when they stand and pose. Yeah, it's fun to watch. Some people criticize.
But it's engaging for the audience.
Yeah, and the judges seem to like it. So
yeah, and I think for them the different approaches they really say that they take from the feedback that they get from competing and really use that and work on these, and that's very, very helpful for them. So they really need these competitions and they're improving.
Yeah. It was also very nice to see that Alison Reed and Saulius Ampovilicius from Lithuania won the bronze medal.
Yeah, they said it's a dream come true. They were overly happy, overwhelmed. It was very special for them. They have been through quite a lot. Missing out on the European podium last year closely. They
did not get to the Olympic Games because he was denied citizenship.
And so they were very happy about this success.
And it was also the last time Lithuania had won a medal was like over 20 years ago in ice dance with Margarita Drobiazko and Povilas Vanagas. So very big achievement for this team and their country.
Yeah, very surprising fourth place, like I think also for themselves. For Una and Gage Brown, the siblings. Who were the strongest American team. Something.
Yeah.
I don't think someone would have predicted ahead of this competition. They improved their personal best by 10 points. They are rising and rising, the former junior world champions. They're still both super young. They could still compete in juniors, but are now already here on the fourth place, which is amazing for them.
Yeah, that's very good for them in the second senior year.
Yes. And then we had two more American teams, Emilia Zingas, Vadim Kolesnik, who are a very ambitious team. They were a bit sad about the twizzles in the short. They said it's their nemesis. Emilia is also new to ice dance. But they're very ambitious. They say they want to make the world team, and they have the potential, but now they have even more strong contenders. It was the Browns maybe that they didn't expect.
Yeah, that's true. Well, then we have the pairs event. That was also a highlight because
you can show the gloves again because she gave these to Diana Stellato after her
photo
after her great success.
Yeah, it was a great performance for this team. Big personal best, and Diana is always so critical of herself, and she was so excited. She was screaming, and when the score came up, and that was really fun to watch.
They were super good, really, and with a skate like that, they will be the team to beat this season.
And their programs too. I mean, especially this Vampire long program is really Yeah,
Captivating.
very cool. She's very into it.
She said she enjoys to be a vampire.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Yeah, true.
And in second place, we had the Hungarian team. Maybe you pronounce the name.
Maria
the Russian name.
Pavlova, Alexei Sviatchenko.
Thank you very much. Very strong technical team. Very good on the jumps. And they have a deserved silver medal here. They are working on their component scores. And it was also like the first first medal for Hungary since Julia Sebastian.
Pairs. Yeah. Well, it was the first ever in pairs and
Yes.
the first Grand Prix since Julia Sebastian. 2009 was last time she competed and won a medal on the Grand Prix. Also, another team, and that was the first Grand Prix for the Hungarian pair at all. And then another new team on the circuit is Lucrezia Beccari, Matteo Guarisi from Italy.
Matteo, a long-time contender, together with Nicole Della Monica, went to several Olympic Games, many Worlds, many Grand Prix. And but he's here with a new partner, and he says he really enjoys skating with Lucrezia. It's something totally different, totally new from his previous partner, and he found himself in the spot in the sport where he wants to be. But there's something where he's a bit upset about.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, they are a strong team. They also were seventh at Europeans, but so far they have only one Grand Prix event. They were only here. They were not invited, even when spots opened up, even after they had a second place, for example, the Nebelhorn Trophy. So it's, and Matteo was very disappointed about that, and I think
He's correct. He has a point. He has a point. And still hoping that maybe if something opens up, that they will be at least the next ones to be considered.
Yeah, and this is actually not the first time that sometimes that happened, that some skaters that did well knew that they didn't get a spot.
But also Ekaterina Korakova didn't get a second spot this year, which is also a bit strange. Polish champion, fourth at Europeans last season, only one spot. Sometimes you really wonder.
Yeah, that's true. We also newcomers on the senior Grand Prix were Anastasia Golubeva and Hector Giotopoulos-Moore. They represent Australia. Very refreshing young team. Pleasure to watch.
Yes, and they were maybe not that serious as last year when juniors, where they were a little bit, they really wanted to win everything, and then the nerves got in the way. Also here they struggled a bit in the free skate, but they were pretty positive overall. They take it as a learning experience. They were very happy to finally be competing in the senior ranks.
And they are the only team currently that does a triple toe combination.
Yes.
Yeah. So
much potential there with that team.
Technically and also artistically. Now
the men
were a lot of. Sometimes we call it, like in Germany, elevator competition, because people are going up and down.
So I did on another website, I did a little poll, like who you think you would win the men's competition, and I didn't even have Sota Yamamoto as a contender. Like, I'm apologizing to him. I mean, he was a silver medalist at the Senior Grand Prix, but after on the Grand Prix final last season. But after that, it went a little bit downwards for him. Also, his first outing at the season at Autumn Classics was not that strong, but in a very strange competition with a lot of ups and downs, he was the most stable one.
Yeah, and so he deserved to win, and it was his first win at a Grand Prix.
Yes.
And it was very emotional for him, because also he has gone through a lot with injuries and coming back, and never. He said it took him a very long time to really be able to come back. Now he is here, and that's great to see.
It's definitely great to see. Kao Miura, who was probably like higher, like more
like a favorite
to win. He struggled a bit with the ice, he said. He took out his planned quad loop. He was only fourth after the short, after popping the toe loop, I think.
Yes.
And but he came back quite strongly in the free. Very ambitious young man, very funny young man.
Playing poker, he loves to play poker with his teammates. He teaches them.
He just is so outspoken and funny. If you have the chance to read some of his interviews, you can see his youth, and he's very bold, maybe with what he says, what he thinks, and very refreshing to see.
Yeah, and he has still a good chance to qualify for the Grand Prix final at his next event. He will be in Finland.
And he said, I want to win in Finland. Well, there he has to compete again against Matteo Rizzo, who had also a crazy event here.
Right, Matteo was only in 8th place after the short program, but then he pulled out a strong free skate to win a medal. And it was interesting. He was in the press conference. He said, in men's skating everything is possible, and it was only like 15 points behind Sota, so I knew I could still make it on the podium, and
yes,
he did,
and he was also struggling with an injury at the beginning of September. He delayed his start into the season. He had a terrible outing at Shanghai Trophy. He said there he was at 40%. Now he ranks himself at 80% of his capacity. He landed both of his quads in the free, and I have to say I was very surprised because it looked far from possible, also considering the practices.
Not so consistent in the practice,
but,
yes.
Then he pulled it off in the free, and I think a deserved bronze medal after all.
And he said it's a little bit boring because it's already his
second.
Not second, even fourth or whatever. He had a couple of bronze medals on the Grand Prix,
and
he wants another. Last year in
bronze.
Canada, and then before so he says he really wants to maybe hope for another color of medal. So we will see in Finland. Yeah, and then Kazuki Tomono.
Yeah, the third Japanese skater just missed the podium by 1 point. I think he was pretty disappointed, especially after his strong outing at Nibelhorn Trophy. He was not that consistent here. He will compete next in China, where he has another chance definitely to make the podium.
Young skater from Kazakhstan, Mikhail Shaidorov, very consistent, very good technique, jumping technique. He is coached by Alexei Urmanov, the 94 Olympic champion, and but he's still a little shy and also needs to work on his components and spins, but he's working hard. So I think this was a very good event for him.
Yeah, and also his first senior Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Then Mark Ornitsky of Israel had a strong free skate. He hopes to still get nominated also for a second Grand Prix. He really hopes for NHK, where we had the withdrawal of Daniel Grassel. So we'll see if he gets that desired spot. But he had a good outing, especially in the free skate.
Then we had
So also we have to talk about Jun Wen-cha, because you have to go pretty far down the list to find his name.
Yeah, it's only in 9th place, and that was quite a bummer. Unfortunately, he really struggled in his programs, especially in the free skating. Was
totally fell apart.
Sad to see, several falls and it's just maybe he's already this other events this season was pretty tough for him.
Nepela Trophy, it was basically the same thing in the free skate, and maybe I think he puts a little bit too much pressure on himself also regarding the quad toe, because he wants to have it in the short for the first time in his career, I think, and I also don't think he tried it too often in the long. He really wants to have this to be even stronger contender.
Yeah, and also is studying at university in Korea. Busy summer with shows. Maybe a lot of things coming together at the same time, but we believe that Jun he will come back. He is very strong, a great skater, and he has all the potential to come back and be at the top again.
Unfortunately, no chance now anymore for him to make the final. We will have a lot of other interesting skaters there.
Right.
So next week it will continue, and there the first ones already can secure their spot in the final.
Yeah, Ilya Malinin, for example, he is coming back and for his second Grand Prix event, and will be interesting to see, because there's also Adam Xiaohim-Fa,
who has a super strong season.
Yes, so far, and he will compete in his first event. Then also we see for the first time on the Grand Prix, at least, the ice dancers Charlene Guignan and Marco Fabri.
Haeyeon Lee from Korea, world silver medalist, skates for the first time in the women's event next week. So hopefully the event there will be not that cold, and I'm sure it will be another very strong and fun event.
Okay, so then take care and see you
See you next week.
soon. See you next week.